Hey, what's up, guys? Over here. So it's like the saying goes, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, and that's how it works with Bluesky when a bunch of weirdos try to virtue signal about people like me for attention, and guess what? You make content out of them. So we have this very bizarre thread coming from this VTuber right here on Bluesky, which is the greatest echo chamber on the internet. And really, like looking at Bluesky, it's like finding a hidden reserve, a gold mine in your backyard, because the amount of content you can farm off of Bluesky and the delusional people who coexist there, it's unbelievable. And this time we have this individual who has been saying recently that they hate drama, right? They hate people who are trying to look for drama, and of course they're a hypocrite who starts drama and tries to call people Nazis on the internet, listing off 4 individuals who they believe are actual genuine Nazis: Kirsha, Silvervale, me, of course, and Pippa. These poor individuals constantly getting dragged. Yes, this person genuinely believes, and we'll see some more evidence of their clarifications on what they mean. I mean, they literally believe we are living, breathing Nazis. Not just these people, but other VTubers we'll see mentioned in just a second. So obviously, this is quite delusional. Let's dive a little further. So here's one of the people who's also mentioned in the reply section, Bao. Yes, Bao is being accused of being a Nazi by Bluesky. Why, you may ask? Well, here's the proof from this user. Bao was gleefully rated by Kirsha. I'm figuring she's at the Nazi table. So she's calling this person, Bao, a Nazi because they got raided by Kirsha. That is insane. And these people are like, oh, Bao? Huh? And this person says, chat, it's not great. Maybe she could be informed, but then again, maybe she'll sooner notice a drop-off in viewers than listen to a she's a dang transphobe message. You're blaming someone and labeling them one of the worst things you could ever label someone because they got raided by a VTuber you find problematic because she's outspoken about her beliefs and you just don't agree with it. Absolutely insane. But it gets worse. This person lists a whole host of people who are also collaborators, Nazi collaborators, because they have at one point collabed with Pippa, including names like Fillion, Dokibird, Mari Mari, Bao, and a bunch of FaZe Connect members. Henya, the genius. Henya, Pikami, by the way, in case you don't know who that is. That's her new account. Yes, apparently Henya is one of these people being listed here. Absolutely insane. In fact, people would mention that in the replies as well. This person saying, a certain self-described genius who still hasn't spoken up about the Nazi harassment going on in her name. They ask who? Henya/Pikami, censored. This person is in their 30s. And they're censoring names of random VTubers because they're that afraid of the people they're trying to slander. In case you're not familiar with the VTubing scene, Henya/Pikami was basically bullied off of the internet 2 years ago over Hogwarts Legacy. She announced that she was considering playing Hogwarts Legacy and streaming it, and she was called a transphobe, a racist, a bigot, all these things, and at the time she was working with a different agency, and basically from the context we've been provided, the harassment she went through sped up her graduation from that company because basically that happened and she went offline for like a month. It was a really bad situation. If you don't know Henya/Pikami, one of the nicest, most wholesome people you'll ever encounter in content creation. And the fact that they did that to her is insane. And still, 2 years later, these people are still slandering her and making her out to be some sort of boogeyman. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane the lengths these people go. And of course, the original poster of this entire thing would quote themselves and add in Pikami and Bao. Yeah, absolutely fantastic work over at Bluesky. Here's some more mentions from this VTuber as well, saying, I haven't seen Silver go that far, but TERFs are usually Nazi bedfellows. That is the most terminally online sentence I think I've ever read in my life. And by the way, they're calling her a TERF because she played Hogwarts Legacy. It all comes back to Hogwarts Legacy. Silvervale streamed Hogwarts Legacy, and she was harassed, threatened, her family was doxxed, all these things because she dared to play the wizard game. And now we have these people in the year 2025 still talking about this and calling her a TERF and also a Nazi bedfellow for playing Hogwarts Legacy. It's unreal. But anyways, for most names I see in the comments, people can be genuinely oblivious. Calling them Nazis are too much. However, keeping them on thin ice, calling out their open associations and not watching them over it is valid. All Nazis are bad actors, but not all bad actors are Nazis. It's easy to miss some stuff when a person has been so normalized. Like, I never liked Asman, but it didn't click to me how Nazi aligned he was. What is it, like, diet Nazi? Is that like the next phrase you're going to use? Absolutely insane. Right here you're saying you shouldn't be calling people Nazis just because they are problematic or have some sort of controversial opinion. But then literally the next quote here is calling Asmongold Nazi aligned. Amazing. But don't worry, the original poster would clarify what they mean by all this stuff. I disagree. Some of these people are not just Nazi sympathizers, but genuine, actual Nazis. And if you're in bed with the Nazis, then yes, you're a Nazi. It's the Nazi bar analogy. I just found out. Apparently, I am a actual Nazi, according to this user who's clearly very unwell. Including, they're also mentioning people like Bao and Pikami and all these other people. It's absolutely insane, the delusions that go on over at Bluesky. This is basically like a very concentrated dose of the most unhinged Twitter freaks that have now migrated over to this echo chamber that is Bluesky. But anyways, let's move on. We also got another name mentioned here. Effing Leaflet. That slime VTuber has a bunch of thumbnails gleefully reacting to horrible stuff like slavery and Project 2025. So what they're referring to is something that actually was covered by Vice and those various hit pieces on VTubers, where this is Leaflet. By the way, sub to Leaflet, great content creator. This thumbnail that she made, it's not her thumbnail, it's someone else's thumbnail, and she obviously put her VTuber model over it. And this is not about slavery, this is about the prison system. So they're wrong on so many levels, and they're trying to cancel her over someone else's thumbnail that she attached in her reaction. Like, absolutely insane stuff. But here's another mention. Snuffy. Yes, Snuffy the VTuber is also a Nazi according to this individual. And they say, this person says, what did they do? Support for Nazis. Nazi bar theory, really. What'd they do? Apparently they got raided by Kirsha like Bao. And like Bao, they didn't say anything from what I've looked up after someone mentioned them. That's it. You get raided once by a problematic, contentious VTuber like Kirsha. And now you're a Nazi. I mean, is this what it looks like to be one? This is a certain German man's top guy right here. Are you serious? It's unreal, man. Here's one of the users just basically going mask off. Okay, at this point, just making it very clear that there's no good faith here. This is how they truly believe. This person says, to be really honest, it might be better to assume that any big VTuber is a Nazi or doesn't care until proven otherwise. It might not be correct, but it's safer to make that guess than to take a chance and be disappointed. Yeah, we should definitely go around dehumanizing people and labeling them these terrible things by default, so people think they can treat them however they want because that's how social media works. This is insane. This is the insanity that's going on over at Bluesky. But let's continue, because I have a theory why this person's so mad, the original poster's so mad at all these VTubers. They're just unhappy. Like, I look at recent posts like this saying, I'm 23 and I feel 46. I'm too effing young to feel this worn out by the world and by people. I say this completely unironically with the best intentions. I really mean this. Log off. Seriously, log off. I think all of this person's problems, the majority of them, and the stress that they're going through would evaporate the second they logged off of social media. Because clearly it has absolutely consumed them. It has gridlocked this person into thinking they're battling Nazis, like there's some like someone storming the beaches of Normandy back in World War II. When in reality, they're just crying on Bluesky about VTubers. Like, that's what's going on here. And then you have another post saying, I'm objectively such a failure. I don't think that's nice to say about yourself. I'm not going to say that about you, but I think, again, if you're talking about your VTubing career, I think your time would be much better served making content and focusing on your own community than slandering and crying about a bunch of VTubers who have absolutely nothing to do with you, and you feel so open, wasting your time and your energy slandering these people. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now here's another one saying if you want to donate to their coffee, I'm going to do you one better. They actually just emailed me, this VTuber just emailed me, and they said instead of giving money to their Ko-Fi, you should do a super thanks chat dono on this video right here. That's actually how we're going to support this cause. Just a little different technical approach here, if you guys want to do that. I only mentioned that too, by the way, because the last two videos, I mentioned super chat thanks, right? Who knew there were so many oil barons in the Rev community? What is going on with you guys? Like, I'll take 1 second to say, like, what is going on with the amount of super chat thanks? Like, it's actually insane. I try to heart every comment, anyone who did that. I hope everyone got covered because I appreciate it very much. But yes, if you want to support the cause here, make it head my way. And it makes the worst people seethe, by the way. A lot of people have been seething about that stuff. But anyways, keep up the good work, guys. But here's another free promo. A little different this time, a little more wholesome, okay? Where they say, please repost any and every Summer Slam stream you see. Good points. You should repost my wife. My wife is doing a VTuber Summer Slam event starting today and tomorrow at 7 p.m. EST. There's going to be a lot of different events involved with this VTuber Summer Slam, but most importantly as well, she's working with Gamers Outreach, which brings video games to kids in hospitals, which I think is a very good cause. So I'd like to see you guys there to hang out and support a good cause. I'll put a link to her Twitter account in the pinned comment of this video if you want to check out her various socials, as well as the pinned comment that has all the information for the VTuber SummerSlam. Again, good cause. Hope to see you guys there and to help out with the entire events. Let's go back to the actual content here, okay? So the reason I found out about this whole thing is because of Hero Hey. Hero Hey made a video about this. He was also mentioned in the replies as another Nazi in the VTubing scene. But they responded to his video by saying, look, Mom, I'm famous, trying to smugly react to all of this, where right after that they say, who is this Hero Hey maggot? You know, it's kind of funny for someone who's labeling people Nazis to see them using dehumanizing language like this, calling people literal insects. Like, I don't know. Sounds like you're actually the more aggressive person than anyone else you're talking about at this point. Like, I don't call people this. Do you? Why do you? And you act like you don't know who he is. You're just gleefully talking about him covering you. And then we see this right here. See, this is the Streisand effect, because, man, that post wasn't that popular, but y'all boosted it. Dude, it has like 40 likes. Relax, okay? Also, again, why are you so happy to see someone you called a Nazi, or you consider a Nazi, reacting to you? Why would you be happy about that? Are you collaborating with Nazis? Yeah, right? Let's do the Nazi bar analogy once again. But here's another post saying, hi, slandering me isn't going to get you anywhere, by the way. I have plenty of pride. I stand up to Nazis on the daily. I work to improve this community and always seek to make peace with people, unlike you, who has jumped to the extreme of me acting in bad faith because, I don't know, I felt like it. What are you even saying? Also, like, you stand up to Nazi. No, you're not. You're just seething on Bluesky about VTubers who are not what you're saying they are. And it's so obvious. It's a waste of time. You're not freaking Nelson Mandela, man. Like, relax, okay? You're not some brave activist. You're wasting time. And you're watering down terms to things that they are not meant to be, okay? You've completely ruined various phrases by watering it down to everyone you don't like. That's all it is at the end of the day. And this behavior is completely and utterly embarrassing. And it gets worse. Hey, I'll be fairly offline now and late Monday next week. I just wanted to say the last couple of weeks have been rough, and I've been rather negative. I don't want to go silent for half a week without saying anything. I still believe in you all. I believe in our ability to make people smile. Let's, as a space/community/group of miscreants, etc., work together, not apart. I want to see VTubing rise to new heights and help the most deserving in our communities. Streaming saved my life, and I want us to all work together to make that much of a difference and more. And streaming is limitless. VTubing is limitless. We can be limitless, but we have to stand up for marginalized, disabled, and BIPOC causes and support, and we need to stand steadfast as a singular bulwark against fascism and Nazism. We can't let bigotry win nor define us. Again, what a hero. You know, everyone stand up. Applaud this individual. This is the bravest person I've ever seen in my life. Fighting their own delusions on Bluesky is helping the VTubing scene become limitless in a place to help out so many marginalized people. What a hero. But anyways, just wanted to share this little peek into Bluesky. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.